something that fascinates me is what Ayn Rand wrote for the New Intellectual, which is a perspective of history, of how history is shaped, and the fact that she called them the twins that were kind of born out of the Industrial Revolution, which is the independent thinker, the philosopher who can now, in the free market, exchange value with their ideas, and the businessman, the American businessman that came out as an entrepreneur with a free market. And she says, instead of cooperating and partnering together to create a new world where each one with a division of labor serves each other, because you need the men of the mind, the men of action and wealth creation to come together and support each other.
Yeah.
And instead they went against each other, like the ivory tower and the pragmatist.
Yeah.
Right. You are, in a way, one of the few people that I know. No, I wouldn't say few. I know quite many more today, but
it's a self-selecting audience.
Exactly. My distortion.
Yeah.
Of a person that has one foot in philosophy and understanding the power of ideas, and one foot in wealth creation, and like the sometimes the complexity of making something happen and real with your customers and what they want and the market and the product market fit. How do you see yourself as this new intellectual that she talks about, which is think about ideas, understand and appreciate the people who dedicate their lives to that.
Yeah.
Right. And also be on the other side of, fighting the fight, being in the field. How do you see yourself in those two worlds?
I think I love what's happening in the modern world with coaching, because it's a wrapper for old school mentoring, being a master, being in the Aristotle class.
Right.
And coaching is nice because it's an intellectual frame that's about action.
So it's ideas applied to action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All coaching setups, whether they're groups or one-on-one, you're really just talking about your thinking.
Right.
Because coaching is not training.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You're not like doing a coaching session and you're training for something. You're not practicing.
Yeah.
You're actually talking about what you're going to do.
Right.
And you're talking about why you're going to do it and what you're not going to do.
And how you're going to win.
And how you're going to win.
Yeah.
And how a lot of things are going to win. Like you, the company, the group, the team. So I love being a coach and I love being coached. And I think it's like this Trojan horse of a concept to get people to appreciate thinking about ideas and knowing the relationship. Like one of my favorite Peikoff models is thought, action, production, achievement. I think about it all the time. And the reason I think about it all the time is because it's really just, if your thought is like 1 degree off, all the other things just go into another star instead of the moon. Like it's amazing to see.
Yeah.
And when you think like that, when you think in the thought as an action is a function of thought, production is a function of action, and achievement is a function of production. So you understand the relationship with these kind of graphs, and then you really become minded to the thought. Is it a high quality thought to the achievement that you want to experience, or to the life experience?
So in a way, it's a waterfall where you see. So how do you think about philosophy or philosophers like Ayn Rand, Leonard Peikoff, people who really are holding that level of strategic thinking?
Yeah.
What's your view of them and the importance, and how do you, in a way, insert those ideas or those premises into coaching?
Yeah. First of all, I appreciate them, love them, envious of them.
Of their ability to.
Yeah, it's really incredible. And every time I find an area that I get to do it, that I get to create a new mental model, like it's so satisfying to me. For me, it's very, like, even when I coach my CTOs in one of my companies and we talk about negotiation, I literally talk about value. I'm like, what do you guys think value is? They're like, well, it's something you act to gain or keep. And I go at it from the very base definition. So when they go for the negotiation, when they talk to their prospects, when they talk to their clients, they're thinking from that rudimentary base. And then everything else seems to be much easier. For example, some of the things we talk about is the difference between front stage value and backstage value. And I tell them front stage value is the thing that you promise that are present, like that your clients or prospects expect. And backstage is the thing you actually do that you control. And it's very tactical. Like, for example, when they do a proposal, and I think I have a proposal review today, if they share, yeah, we're going to do a weekly report. I'm like, why do you put that as a front stage value?
Yeah.
Do you think anybody wants to read a report? They don't want to read a report. They want things done.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're going to miss 1 week. So now you have a denominator. Oh, I expected 4 reports. So now I didn't get the value of the retainer or value of the pay. I mean, drop it. I tell them, like the IRS, you can pay as much taxes as you want. You can give as many reports as you want.
Yeah.
Right, but don't promise it.
Right.
So versus backstage, you can do whatever you want. You can you can be in endless meetings. You can create whatever reports you want, but it's for you to figure out if you actually need it to generate value. So in my coaching, we go back to raw definition all the time before we roll up to the activity, because then the activity suddenly makes sense to them.
So you take them up the chain, back to the thinking, back to the premises.
With any topic
definitions
they ask about.
Yeah.
With any topic they ask about.
Yeah.
Like even if it's a sales call, prospect call, and they ask me something about the program, I'm like, well, what do you want to do? Like it's even in like basic sales, I start with like definitions, purpose. What do you want to do? Mm-hmm. Why do you want to do it? And now we're going to talk about the how. And most people get trapped in the how. They immediately go, even in technology, it's super common, right? They talk about the security and the databases. Yeah. I'm like, I don't care about any of that. I kind of say as a technologist, I'm a hammer that hates nails.
Yeah.
And I really want to make sure that we talk about impact and what and why. Yeah. And then how is the last thing we do.